evening, everyone. Welcome to the American Sports Connection. I am your host, Joey Railroads. I'm here with my buddy, Rygal. We're going to sit here and talk about Monday Night Raw from last night. How's it going, man?
Pretty good, man. How you doing?
I'm hanging in there. So, what did you think of Raw last night?
I think it was an okay setup for the pay-per-view, which is already looking better than Mania was, so I'm optimistic.
I agree with that. It's really looking like a stacked card.
Yeah, it's kind of good because it's trying to see a direction of where the company is going to go in the next year. This is like the first checkpoint, so.
Yeah, because they usually try and book a year they used to book a year in advance.
Yeah, I mean, like, you can tell that hasn't been done in a really long time.
Yeah, because that was what they usually would do, is they would, go from Mania to Mania.
Are you sure we're live?
Yes.
Okay. So I was trying to find the link on YouTube, and it's not showing it on the channel.
That's weird. Yeah, because there's two people in here.
Huh. Okay. Well, that's uploads. I don't want uploads. Alright, anyway.
Moving on. They started the show last night with Shane talking and then Stephanie coming out. I gotta tell you, this opening to the show was really boring.
Yeah, I guess it was. Again, it's WWE and this short-sighted booking. On what criteria is Vince gonna pick?
Yeah, and it's like we're supposed to pretend the match that Shane lost never happened.
Yeah, I mean, because that's the way that they're going with it. It has to be.
And, because Vince is going to decide who's running Raw. It almost makes you feel like they're setting up to split the brands again.
Which would maybe not be a terrible thing, I think that's still pretty cool.
No, I agree with that, because I think they have the talent now to pull it off.
Yeah, so do I.
And, I always liked it for SmackDown because you could have, lower tier guys that wouldn't necessarily get time on Raw, get, I don't want to say season, but you know what I mean? Get over on SmackDown and maybe move them over.
Yeah.
All right, hang on 1 second. Rich is calling in.
Get over.
Hey, Rich, how's it going?
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Nothing much. Hang on 1 second. Shit. I hit the wrong button. Hang on.
It's okay.
All right, there we go. I had to merge the call.
Hello?
What's going on? What's going on, brother?
Hey, what's going on, bro?
Nothing much. There you go. Sorry. I don't know, Mike. I still can't find the link. I clicked the link and it doesn't take me to any live page.
That's weird. Hang on. Let me...
I saw the live page before I came on.
Okay. So long as somebody did, because I clicked the link and it didn't take me to anything. It took me just to the main page. It didn't say live.
That's weird. We were just talking about the opening segment and how I was just saying it was so boring where it's like we're supposed to not believe that Shane lost at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, Stephanie came out and tried to get a cheap pop and it didn't work. I would have just laughed if the whole crowd in Connecticut would have just started screaming, "You screwed China."
That would have been funny. And like I was telling Ennis, it makes me wonder if they're headed toward the brand split again by the way this is going.
Oh, definitely. Because if listen, I said it. I think I typed it to you guys last week. Once I saw Shane McMahon on the opening credits of Raw, I was like, yeah, he ain't going nowhere. They don't do things like that anymore, where they just feature somebody for like a quick second in the opening credits and then they'll change it a week later.
Yeah, no.
No, you're right.
Yeah. So it's clearly heading down to where Vince is going to say, well, we're going to let Shane run Raw on an interim basis, and if he messes up, then I'll take it back myself, and we'll let the Authority run SmackDown or something.
Now, while on the surface, that seems like that may be a great thing, it's still the same fucking writers. It's still Vince McMahon having a final say. So now it's just... Hopefully Triple H starts winning his battles a little bit more, because they can really do something with this breed of talent that they have now, especially what they have coming up still. So this can sustain for a while. It's not like the last time. You know, we gotta make Nunzio a fucking mid-carder because he has nobody else.
Yeah. They got a lot of pieces, and they just gotta put them in the right places. Why not have Triple H and his team that writes NXT over on SmackDown and get a little insight from Paul Heyman? You're paying the guy to show up as much as, you're paying the guy probably the whole year. So why not, hey, you know what? Why do we only pay you when Brock Lesnar's around? Come and write some TV. Period.
I think that would be fantastic.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that would be so good for wrestling.
Of course. When he was writing SmackDown, when they first did the brand split, I remember when I used to go, wow, Raw lost to Monday Nitro for 80 weeks in a row, whatever it is. And if Heyman keeps writing SmackDown, they're going to have to make Raw, they're going to have to put Raw on free TV like SmackDown was at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was when he had Eddie and Benoit, and I forget the other two guys, and they were killing it on SmackDown.
Angle, Lesnar, they had everybody.
Oh, absolutely. He has a mind for wrestling that is rivaled by none. He's just, ECW would have flourished had he gotten that TV deal.
Yeah.
Of course.
And flourished greatly because he's a fucking pit bull. But yes, I agree with you. If you would bring him in, there has to be a change in the writing. It can't be what's going on. Like, you can't bring guys up that are, vested NXT veterans and have them buried like The Ascension, Tyler Breeze, because you don't know how to market them to the universe. But they're so fucking over in NXT that you've already spent money building.
Yeah, I mean, what happened with The Ascension was they pretty much cut their nuts off before they even got really going. Like, you bring these guys who are basically brand new to the main roster, and you're gonna come dress them up like the Road Warriors, and then you're gonna say, well, they're gonna have them say, well, we're better than the Road Warriors, and we're better than these guys. How? What did you do? Nothing.
Yeah,
so of course nobody bought into it.
That, and then JBL was just like killing them on the mic.
Yeah, I remember talking to you about that, Mike.
Yeah.
It's just like, you can only get as over as the announcers will get you over. So when the fucking announcers sit there going, these guys are terrible, and not even like terrible in a heel way, as in like they just suck. So why would I be invested in them if JBL's telling me they suck? I don't know who they are.
Exactly. And when you're getting X-Pac heat from the heel commentator, where do you go from there?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they tried to get them over, like, because they had, I think it was at the Rumble, they had them fight the Outlaws.
But they lost to the Outlaws, so that...
Did they? I thought they won
No, they
that
beat
match.
the Outlaws.
Did they?
Outlaws. Yeah, and I think that was like their one monumental win. Because from there, I don't know what happened. I remember I was at Raw like a month later, and they were on the Dark Show to Superstars. So their match wasn't even going to make it on Superstars against the primetime players. I was like, yeah, these guys are done.
Holy cow.
Yeah,
that's crazy. All right, next we had AJ Styles versus Sheamus. I actually had to go back and rewatch this. Me and Ennis were just talking about this. This was a good match, but I think they were really laying them in.
Yeah, I mean, they're marketing AJ as the number one contender, and it was a smart way to get AJ over because he's fighting somebody clearly way bigger than he is in terms of height and muscle, which is Roman Reigns, and then he fought somebody who's equally as big and has had more accomplishments than Roman Reigns so far.
If you want to look at it truly, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, so it was good to see them laying it in, and the hard and the hard hits in that, because we're not going to really get a lot of that in that match on Sunday. At least not from Reigns.
Yeah, I don't think Reigns would know how to. I mean, like, unless you really throw him potatoes, I don't know if he'd have, know how to wrestle, for lack of a better term, strong style, other than just clumsy style, like
on accident hit somebody.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar, WrestleMania 31. He just went and started potatoing him right in the beginning. That's why Lesnar just started beating the shit out of him, which a lot of people was like, wow, it looks legit. And Reigns was. Sam Roberts, he was like, no, it was. He really was beating the shit out of me because I punched him really hard in the face in the beginning of the match.
Hey, probably pissed Lesnar off.
Very much.
Yeah, Lesnar in the UFC did not like getting hit in the face. Like, Lesnar would rip my arms off and beat me with them, so by no means am I saying anything bad about Lesnar, but that dude did not like getting hit in the face.
I wouldn't blame. I would say Roman thought to himself, you know what? People hate me. They think this guy's going to tear me apart. I'm going to give him everything I got, but he just went the wrong way about it.
Yeah. And he fucking potatoed him. Pop. Like, imagine being Roman Reigns and just potatoing Brock Lesnar. Like, fuck.
You're like, oh, what did I do?
Like, I guess I'm not going to have to sell that hard tonight.
Exactly.
That's funny. Well, Styles won with the phenomenal forearm. And if I remember correctly, Anderson and Gallows came out at the end of this match.
Yes.
Yeah, they're making it seem. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but they're kind of making it so obvious that Anderson and Gallows are not gonna be supporting AJ after Sunday.
Absolutely.
Boy, hold on. Have they not made it obvious to us, or not made it obvious to the typical WWE Universe person?
Well, us and the typical WWE Universe person, you know, that's like saying two different beasts. So,
but that's the thing. They're not really marketing a lot of this to us.
Right.
Yeah, they're trying to go toward the casual fan.
Right.
And that's the whole scope of how you think about wrestling has to be thought in that. They don't give a fuck what the IWC cares about, because we really are a small percentage. Even like, not even like WWE Universe super retard fans, but like just guys who don't use the internet for like news. They may not feel the same way. They may see it as like, you know, who knows? Or they could be playing us, and AJ turns full heel, but that make no sense because that wouldn't do anything with pushing Roman as a face.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which is what they want. And if you're not going to get that, you got to turn him full-blown heel, which is what I think is going to happen. I think the Bullet Club's going to help him and turn them all heel. That'll stop getting any potential cheers on them if they side them with Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, there will be no fan pop, no respect pop. That will get heat.
Yeah, and then they'll just call it, Roman's Empire.
Oh
my God,
Yep.
That hurt me. That hurt me when you say that. You know why? Because it's very possible.
Yeah, it's gonna call it Roman's Empire,
and it's gonna enrage people.
And then the next night on Raw, what he needs to do is do Die Rocky Die promo, where he tells the fans, you know what? I've tried for 2 years to be your champion, to be the guy that you can look up to after John Cena, and you shit on me and whatever, so fuck you. Well, not in those words, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Basically, like, shove it.
Yeah.
But he got to come out with new music and new fucking attire. No more fucking Armed Forces vest.
Yeah, like, what happened there? Like, the Shield broke up, and it's like, what is he? He's like the last one left.
Yeah, he's the only guy that never evolved.
Yeah. He's just waiting. He's like, don't worry, they're coming back any day now.
Until a fucking couple weeks ago, this motherfucker's still walking down the stairs. Like, bro, people stopped doing that a year and a half ago. What are you doing?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. He wore the Shield outfit, came out through the crowd, the Shield's music. It's like he's a carbon copy of them.
And look, they give him a shitty fucking finisher, a punch that the Big Show does, except he jumps, and a spear that somebody as small as Edge has done as a finisher. It's like, alright, give him a cool move, change his music, and that'll help him get over a little bit.
Very much.
Don't even gotta give him a lot of moves. Hogan didn't have a lot of moves. Austin didn't have a lot of moves. The Rock really didn't have a lot of moves.
Exactly. Have him come out. You know what? He doesn't even have to say, let's say, for example, in the interim, he doesn't have to say he's with the Authority. Have him come out in the suit and stuff like when he was in FCW.
Yes.
Just be a complete dick.
Yeah. Be a fucking heel. Stop dressing like a fucking commando all the time.
Yeah, and it's funny we're talking about this because the next segment was that promo with Reigns and the Usos, which was just weird.
Yeah, I was watching that. I was watching that with my wife, and my wife looked at me and she was like, "That made no sense." Where at the end when he said, "The one can help the all," I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, we're like, huh?
Yeah, sometimes the one can use the all, but sometimes the all can use the one. And I had to think about it a couple of times before it made sense, and I was like, that's terrible. Like once it hit me, what he said, I was like, man.
But most WWE fans aren't going to take that long to figure it out. There's okay.
Once I realized, I was like, boo.
At this rate, Roman could have said something brilliant, and they're still going to shit on it at this rate.
Yeah, you're right.
And then the Marks are still going to love it.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Sorry, I'm high as fuck, and I'm still smoking, so.
Yeah, you ain't bothering me.
Me either.
After next we had the New Day come out, and they tried to cut a promo, and the Vaudevillains interrupted them. I actually didn't mind this version of the Vaudevillains where they tried to be a little more heelish and play it up.
Yeah, I thought they would be a flop when they got there because they debuted on SmackDown. But they have been awesome. Have they been pushing the shit out of these NXT guys or what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't really seen SmackDown, but yeah, last night they kind of showcased them.
Yeah, like they let them kind of cut a little promo and show their personality.
Yeah, and they last week on SmackDown, they had an even better promo when it was just them and Enzo and Cass.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, so they're standing by the Vaudevillains despite the fact that a lot of people, me included, don't really care for the gimmick.
See, I think are you a big NXT watcher?
Oh yeah, of course.
But I think their gimmick is one that should be explained a little bit better than it has been. Like that Simon Gotch is a throwback strongman.
Right.
Like, if that's not really, like, it worked in NXT because everybody knew it. It was part of the gimmick. On SmackDown, he just comes out like this, and people just, why is he dressed like that?
Yeah, like who in the hell is this guy?
Like, why does he look like an old wrestler? And I think that's part of the reason, like, they're not spending any money on what they've already spent so much money on, and that's developing these characters. Like, tell them, this is, Simon Gotch. He's a throwback to the old strong men of the old 1920s, and his partner is a fucking poet, or whatever the fuck his gimmick is.
Yeah, I think it's the artiste or something.
The artiste.
Right. Like, when every guy that they're going to bring up for the exception of, the night after Mania, why don't they do vignettes? Why do we have to waste time on, yet again, the Matadors now are back to being Primo and Epico? You know what I mean?
I was going to say, they've gotten like 7 vignettes in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, why couldn't you do Vaudevillains since Vaudevillains weren't going to debut on Raw anyway? Why didn't you just say, let me tell you a quick story about the Vaudevillains and you'll see them this Thursday on SmackDown? Boom.
Yeah, I agree.
Instead, we're getting Primo and Epico as Primo and Epico now, and then when that fucks up, like it did before, they'll think of something else and they'll stick them under hoods again.
Probably. After the Vaudevillains came out, Enzo and Cass came out, did their little spiel. This was just awkward at the end because New Day is like dancing in the middle of Enzo and Cass, and the Vaudevillains are on the other side, and I'm like, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, like I would have wished that the Vaudevillains and Enzo and Cass would have punched like New Day in the face and threw them out.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, come on, do something.
And then fight each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can watch either the New Day or Enzo Cass is getting there because Cass has just been the big guy, but they're so funny. Like, I could watch them do fucking anything.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, I told you this last week, Ryan. I was cracking up laughing when Enzo used the word fugazi.
Yeah, you two slop jalops.
Yeah.
Got a couple of haters? Got
That's my favorite.
Haters? Yeah.
He is one of the best on the mic, man.
Very much so. And he has a future, even if, they do something where they mess up Enzo and Cass, he has a future as a manager. Where he could be somebody's mouthpiece.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I'm very happy to see them be as over as they are.
And he sells really good.
Yeah. He's a small dude.
Yeah. And they do it perfect like old school tag team.
Yeah.
Enzo sells, gives Cass the hot tag.
Yeah, I listened to them on Stone Cold's podcast, and that's what they said they wanted to perfect, like the hot tag.
Yep.
And so far they have.
Okay, when did the Mechanics become the Revival? Because their original name was the Mechanics.
Yeah,
because I don't remember that.
They just in when that episode of NXT where they jumped Enzo outside, remember that they showed it from like the security camera?
Yeah.
Corey Graves was sitting there with Rich Brennan, and they were like, well, the Revival, they just didn't give an explanation. They were just like, yeah, they're the Revival now. That's it.
Oh, wow.
They were just like, the Revival jumped in, and everybody's like, who the fuck is that? And they were like, oh, them, okay.
Who or what is a Revival? Oh, those guys. I hate it when they do that.
But they definitely remind me of the old Brain Busters.
Yes, they do.
Oh, definitely. With the members-only jackets and everything, yep.
Yeah. They're another throwback kind of wrestling team, and that's the kind I grew up liking. I grew up liking Arn Anderson without even knowing anything about who he was, but I remember the Brainbusters and Arn Anderson.
Yeah, it's cool to see them bringing those types of teams back.
It's a lost art, man. It really is. Now, when you watch, you can't tell who's a good guy and a bad guy. At least when you watch them wrestle, you know that they're bad guys.
Yeah.
And they do great tactics.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Next, we had the debut of Gallows and Anderson against the Usos.
Oh, well, I expected them to win.
Oh, yeah, that was a given. And you knew from what Roman Reigns said afterwards that, after the match was over, that Gallows and Anderson were going to keep putting the boots to the Usos, and he'd come out and save them.
Yeah.
But they look solid in the ring. Gallows looks, a lot better than his days as Festus, and even when he was with CM Punk.
Yeah. His time in Japan. I wonder, though, if they're going to be wrestling too strong for a lot of the other guys. This is my concern when guys come over from Japan.
They're too stiff?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the only guy that they sent to NXT to tone down his style was Nakamura. So I guess they'll just have to learn on the fly on Raw.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine fucking getting in the ring with one of these guys right from Japan, especially Nakamura. Jesus Christ.
He wrestles that, what the hell is it? Samson, he wrestles tomorrow night on NXT.
Oh, the Drifter?
Yeah.
Former Rosebud.
Yeah, I saw that photo. Like, half of NXT was former Rosebuds.
Fucking Braun Strowman, bro. Braun Strowman was a Rosebud.
And the picture I saw, Becky Lynch was one too.
Yeah.
Do you remember her first gimmick?
Yes.
Fucking step dancing in the middle of the ring like a fucking idiot, hands on the hips. So that was just the worst stereotypical gimmick.
Yeah, she was doing the river dance.
Yeah, in the middle of the fucking ring.
Yeah, that was the pits. Thank God that they decided to change that.
That was terrible. But at least Gallows and Anderson went over clean. What is their finishing move called again? I forget.
Magic Killer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And the funny thing was that when they first did it, Michael Cole said Magic Killer, and then people online was like, I don't think he was supposed to say the killer part. And then if you look at the WWE, like the YouTube channel, they edited out the word killer.
Oh my God.
But I guess Maggle was like not listening to Vince in the headset because he said it repeatedly yesterday.
Oh boy.
The only other thing I thought that was strange was the outfits they had them wear.
Why?
Gallows looked like Nash without the what do you want to call it? Like he had the full singlet, but he looked like Nash from the bottom down, like his Diesel back in '95.
Except they were shorts.
Yeah.
But that's how he always dressed, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was part of all they did at most is, I don't know if I ever seen that suit in white, but apparently it was exactly like the Wrestle Kingdom 10 outfit, but instead of BC, it said GB for like Good Brother.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. I saw that was confirmed by his wife, that it was Good Brother.
Okay, next it was AJ had his promo in the back where Anderson and Gallows interrupted him, basically said, oh, you're my friend and we're going to have your back and all this, and I'm like, yeah, he's getting turned on now.
Yeah, that's what I said when I first called in. That's the part that made it super obvious. You could even tell by the way Gallows was talking that it wasn't even sincere.
Oh no, I would be happy with a Roman Reigns heel turn. I'm saying that right now.
Yeah, I would too.
But the thing is, if you bring up Finn, and they're talking about Balor Club, how are you going to have WWE Champion in Balor Club? An NXT guy is the head of it. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Yeah, I think the Finn thing, a lot of people yesterday were commenting in the group about, well, Finn Balor's going to debut tonight on Raw. Why? Because he dropped the belt to Samoa Joe in Lowell, Massachusetts. Okay. And I told people he's not going to do that. But he said it, like, okay.
Yeah, he was just trolling everybody.
That's what I said. Finn Balor's a troller. He's been doing that since the day when they announced after Wrestle Kingdom that they signed these guys.
Yeah.
So, Balor coming up, I don't see that happening until after he gets a rematch with Samoa Joe.
Yeah, because I don't know if you saw the commercial. They're going to have that match that he lost the belt on NXT tomorrow night.
Yeah, they are. So, it was filmed for that purpose. Because last week when I was watching NXT, I heard them mention, well, tomorrow night, Finn Balor's going to defend the NXT title against Samoa Joe in Lowell, Massachusetts. Like, they were announcing a live event. I'm like, why are they announcing, like, what's...
Yeah, like, they would never do that.
Yeah, you know? It's not going to be televised or anything. It's not like Roadblock. So, why are you telling? And I was like, something's going to happen there then.
Yeah, and I also think that they want to get out the idea that anything can happen at an NXT live event to kind of, like, spike, like, tickets.
Absolutely.
Like one of the guys in one of the groups I was talking to the other day said everything that happens at a live event is predictable. This shatters that notion.
Exactly. But you'll never see something like that on the main roster, trust me.
No.
Unless it's like Kalisto dropping the title to Ryback.
Yeah.
And no one would care.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, do you guys even know this? That's going to be the pre-show match this Sunday?
Yeah, I feel bad for Kalisto.
Yeah,
he got cursed.
He's fucking amazing.
Yeah, he got cursed with that belt.
Yeah, he got the right back curse.
Yep.
The problem is, like, these belts don't mean shit no more. There's no prestige with holding these belts. They started to do it, and then they just gave up.
And I laugh when people say, Cena brought the belt up so high, then Del Rio made it mean shit. All right, so what did Kalisto do with the belt then? Like, it's less than nothing now.
Yeah, it made it even worse.
Exactly.
And the
Would
thing
rather
is,
win the NXT, not the NXT, the TNA X Division title or something at this rate.
Yeah, for the most part, what I think is that they need to have a separate weight class belt for the smaller guys.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they have enough smaller guys to have a whole division.
Well, they're going to have a lot of small guys to have a whole global show. So.
And you figure quite a bit of those guys are going to get signed.
Oh, yeah. Zack Sabre Jr. for sure. They mention him on the website and everything, so even if he doesn't win that whole thing, he's coming to WWE.
Lance in the chat says, you guys, Ryback is going to win the title just to lose it to Cena on Memorial Day.
Probably. I would not doubt that. I mean, I'm pretty sure he hit the nail on the head.
Yeah,
what day of the week is Memorial Day? Oh, yeah, Monday.
The 30th, May 30th. Because if you think about it right now, looking at the main event picture, even though it is John Cena, and I'm asking you guys this, where do you put him?
You could keep Cena in the mid-card. I don't think you need to put him in the main event right now.
No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Where would you put him in the AJ, Roman Reigns, thing right now? You just leave him in the mid-card. Let him, have his good matches that he was having before when he was champion.
I don't even put him near that angle.
Yeah, because his, when he had the U.S. Open Challenge, he was having great matches every Monday night.
That was one of the only things a lot of people were looking forward to, ironically, on Mondays.
Yeah, because Cena showed he's a worker. Yeah, I mean, like, he's gotten better. I mean, these people say he can't wrestle. Like, that's changed. There was a long time that was true. This motherfucker can wrestle now.
Yeah. And up until, when was it? Towards the end of last year, from when he won the title from Rusev all the way through SummerSlam, I was like, listen, I'm not a John Cena fan, but you're going to have to convince me otherwise that he's not Wrestler of the Year right now.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
Yeah, just on the body of work.
Because he had great matches with all kind of guys.
Yep.
And
I agree.
People can't look past the hate with him that this is the best year he's probably had in a long time.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I think he's probably going to start toning it down now, too.
Yeah, because he's 40?
No, he just turned 39.
Okay, well, yeah, he's probably going to start not wanting to wrestle full time.
And there's really no real reason for him to have the title for the future-wise. Like, him winning the title now, there's other guys that have kind of started to step up to that place. I don't know, he's older now, so it's time for somebody new. I think he's one to realize it.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely. Next it was Sami Zayn versus Rusev.
It was typical Rusev match, but the thing that had me freaking cracking up was at the end, Lana's throwing her shoes at Sami Zayn and he flips her off.
Yeah, that was
holy
funny.
Shit.
Well, apparently, no, he's actually holding up 3 fingers to
really?
say that yeah.
Okay, well, when I saw it real quick, I was like, did he just flip her off? I was like, holy shit.
Because that's the same thing I thought.
A lot of people did, and I happened to see that he was actually holding up 3 fingers. I
guess from the camera angle, what it was that we saw, since the middle finger, since he had his pinky and his ring finger down, that's all you saw from that camera angle.
Yeah. Like you said, it was a typical Rusev match. It wasn't bad. And then Owens attacks Zayn when he's up on the ramp.
Typical Owens move heading into the pay-per-view. And then tonight during the SmackDown taping, there'll be some type of attempted rebuttal probably.
Yeah, this is going to be good. They're always good. I like the whole you and I are destined to do this forever thing. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yeah. They're basically, thank God, at least for this one match, they're showing a video package and telling a story.
And they did it right. I was like, man, why can't they do this more often?
Exactly.
Dino says in the chat, guys, he says it's not the only finger to flip Lana, huh? Wah, wah, wah.
Now, I've been so happy to say that I've been watching Steen and Generico since, well, probably Final Battle 2010.
Oh, yeah. And they did the storyline earlier that year, was it, Ryan, where he turned on him and they were tag team partners, and then they had the match where
he left for 6 months.
Right. Then they had the match where Steen lost to Generico because Generico hit him over the head with a chair like Steen did to him.
Yeah, and then after that is when he was out for 6 months, yeah. And then he came back to the crowd, and I was at that fucking event when he came to the crowd. When he returned. That was fucking great. And then he went into a whole thing with Carino.
Right. And then after he got the title from Davey Richards, they had that classic ladder match.
Bro, I was in the audience for that, and on my old phone, I had so much of that match. And I showed coworkers who don't like wrestling the match, and they popped so big for the fucking package pile driver on the 4 ladders. Like, you know, when they had the 2 ladders set up and 2 ladders across. Because I was looking at them dead level.
Yeah, and
I was like, this is surreal.
When I saw that, I was like, I just hope Kevin Steen didn't split his nuts.
Yeah, really.
Because he looked like he took the worst of it.
Yeah.
All right, next we had Apollo Crews versus Stardust. This was basically just a friggin' squash match.
Yeah, hopefully he gets over. He's talented as fuck. Apollo.
Yeah, I just don't know where they're going with him because they've just kind of thrown him in matches and they haven't really given him someone to feud with yet.
All I know is I'm watching this and I'm thinking, God, this is Neville.
It's Neville.
Yeah, it really is.
The only thing is that he still hasn't lost yet on the main roster, but it's like he's just gonna be beating these random nobodies. Like next week, he'll probably face the victor, the one that didn't get suspended from the Ascension.
Yeah.
Like,
no, you're right. You're absolutely right. You know, he's being thrown into fucking mid-card hell or sub-card hell.
And Dino says in the chat he's singing the Uha song, "Knowing Me, Knowing You."
Now, I don't know what you guys think about this, but what I think should happen just to try to get something going is Ryback beats Kalisto, and then right from there goes into something with Apollo Crews. You know, give him something to do.
Yeah.
Chasing the U.S. title. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad.
Give some prestige to the U.S. title if he eventually beats Ryback for it. And then have great matches on Raw. Kind of like John Cena, but just don't call them the Apollo Open Challenge or anything.
Yeah, just let it be that he's defending it every week and there's no real challenge or anything like that.
Yeah, because knowing WWE, they'll do something stupid where they'll have him come out and say, "Who's ready for Showtime at the Apollo?" or something, you know.
There's some stupid racist bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would not be shocked at all. Next we had, it was Ambrose cut his promo. Jericho come out, wanted him to apologize. And eventually they get into it, and Ambrose gets put in the walls on the announcer's table.
I don't know where they're going with this.
Yeah. I've never understood why they do the submissions on the announce table. Like, is that supposed to hurt more than the mat? Like,
exactly.
I don't get it.
Like, what's the big deal? He's doing it on the announce table.
Yeah. Oh my God. I never understood that, but I'm hopeful that Jericho will put him over at the pay-per-view.
And let's just hope they have something planned for Dean right after that, because if not, then where does he go from here?
Yeah, it's like they just kind of just threw him into this, because originally this was supposed to be his Mania match, him and Jericho.
Oh, I fucking hate WWE sometimes, bro.
Yeah, they don't make any sense sometimes.
Yeah, with a lot of things that they do.
Absolutely. Next, we had Emma versus Natty. This made me laugh because I think Natalia got one move in, and it was a counter into the sharpshooter.
The thing is, she can wrestle too, so...
Yeah, it was just weird because Emma, like, beat the snot out of her for a couple minutes, and then she's, like, out of nowhere, she got her in the sharpshooter, and that was it.
Well, I mean, at least they're trying to build Emma a little bit because they failed to do that in her first run. And Emma's very good. To me, she was very underrated.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Because, think about it. After Charlotte, who's your next heel diva?
You're right.
That could get in the ring. That's not, you know what I mean?
Heel Emma is so much better.
Then she is, yeah.
Alright, next we had, technically, Sandow versus Corbin, but Ziggler attacked Corbin before he could get to the ring.
Was that a rib on poor Damien Sandow or what?
Yeah, that was terrible.
I was like, we're going to see Damien Sandow finally. And then all of a sudden, when I saw Baron Corbin was his opponent, I was like, no, we're not. Never mind.
Yeah, because I was all excited. I was like, cool, Sandow's finally back on TV.
That poor guy.
Yeah, and he's so talented, too.
He really is. And what's crazy is, whenever they put him out there, the crowd goes nuts for him.
Oh, he's over as fuck.
Yeah, that's your punishment for getting yourself over.
Well,
as Zack Ryder.
Like Acer said, at least Sandow didn't get squashed.
I would have taken the squashing over that. At least they got to see it. They would have got to see him on TV 2 or 3 minutes more.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Next we had, and I can't stand what these guys want to put me to sleep. Maurice and The Miz had their promo. I just can't stand these people. Cesaro comes out, and I was telling Ennis this because he missed his promo. I said Cesaro actually cut a pretty good promo.
Very good promo. And I hope Vince was watching.
I like Cesaro a lot.
And basically at the end, Miz tried to attack him, and he uppercutted him and was going to give him the swing, but Maurice came in and, like, hovered over the Miz so he couldn't do it.
Well, I'm not a fan of The Miz, but I have to say this, that ever since they brought Maurice back, she kind of breathed new life into the Miz character.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because, you know, she comes out with her horrible broken English and all that, and she added a little something. Not something to brag about, but something that, you know, he's been lacking for a very long time.
I know, something to make you dislike him even more.
Yeah, there you go. Because if you think about it, he's like the one true heel there that actually tries to cheat to win.
Who'd ever thought?
Yeah.
But I liked how Cesaro grabbed the belt at the end and did his little, like, whatever the hell you call it, with his arms, like he's doing a machine gun or something.
Right.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah. I like Cesaro's whole gimmick.
Yeah, now correct me if I'm wrong. That was his old gimmick in Ring of Honor, right? Where he wear the transporter suit.
Well, he was just like the super rich guy, Claudio Castagnoli.
Oh, okay.
Right, yeah.
So, I mean, like, yeah, he'd come out in suits, but he'd come out in, like, you know, like, Panama fucking shirts and, like, slacks and, like, Panama hats and, yeah.
Speaking real quick of Claudio Castagnoli, remember when he was Kings of Wrestling with Chris Hero?
Yes.
I saw a picture of Chris Hero.
Yes,
the other day.
Fat as fuck.
Oh my God, what the fuck happened?
Fat as fuck.
Apparently he has a really bad back.
Bro, this motherfucker looks fat. That's not a bad back, bro. That's like 40, 50 pounds.
I know. Well, apparently his excuse was he has a bad back and he can't work out.
Well, he started off as a fat kid. If you remember old Chris Hero, when he was like a backyarder just getting into it. When he would wear like a Superman jersey.
Yeah, he was. I remember that. but Jesus.
I
And
want-
if you can't work out, at least diet.
I want Cesaro to do the UFO so fucking badly. Just get the motherfucker on him. I don't care who. It just spin around and hands on the hips and just keep spinning around with that motherfucker floating on your shoulders. That is my favorite wrestling move ever.
Well, you know, Ryan, who's the only person right now in WWE who can get that move over with him? He's not even there. Seth.
Yeah.
Well, any light guy theoretically could.
Yeah, but to have the body control that Seth Rollins has, I don't see Kalisto doing that correctly.
I do. I would put him in like one of the few that I would expect to get it on one of the first tries. One of the really agile guys.
You mentioned Seth. I'm curious to see what finisher he's going to come back with.
It has to be the Phoenix Splash because he's going to be a face.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Has to be.
Yeah, because there's no way he's going to get booed.
Absolutely no way.
It depends on how they bring him back.
That too.
If they were to have him come back and help Roman win, that would turn him heel. Well, it would turn him heel with the people who matter. Us. Because then we just be booing the fuck out of both of them. Like, there's no way we could support that. Although I wouldn't put it past WWE to try.
Or bring him back where, you know, he's back with the Authority, but then, you know, he does the turn, but the reason why he does the turn is because, you know what? You said you had my back, and when I went out right away, you never called me, you never referenced me again. You just right away went to choose another guy. Which
yeah, you say you pretended I never existed.
Yeah, because Seth Rollins got hurt, and the only time Triple H mentioned it was when he was standing in the middle of the ring on Raw with his belt in his hand.
Yeah.
That makes sense. All right, the main event was Roman Reigns versus Del Rio. Me and Ryan were talking about this, and Del Rio, I don't know if he's being lazy or if he's just content with the money he's getting, but I haven't been pleased with his work in the ring.
The problem is that once you see somebody come from Lucha Underground, where it's hard-hitting, good work every single match, for save a few, right? And then they come to WWE where it's basically not the same thing. You're like, well, wait, why isn't he doing the stuff he was doing in Lucha? I mean, that's why they bought him back, right? And they're like, no, they just bought him back.
WWE is aware of what he can do, but WWE doesn't want him doing any of that. And it's a shame because I like him. He's talented, but...
And he got in really good shape.
Yeah, man.
Oh, excellent shape.
We had talked about this last week. It was him, Rusev, and Bray Wyatt were all like losing weight and were getting like cut.
Yeah, Rusev, I mean, like, they dropped the ball with Rusev. They kind of made him into a bit of a comedy thing, but they can make him into a legitimate fucking beast, man.
Exactly. When I was watching Rusev in the interim when he was the U.S. champion and all that, I remember because I watch with my wife and she gets emotionally invested sometimes, and so I remember Rusev beat John Cena for the first time at Fastlane of last year.
Yeah.
And she was like, why don't they bring Brock Lesnar to kick his fucking ass, right? And I was like,
yeah.
You know what? That would be a great fucking match. All you got to do is make sure Rusev never loses to John Cena. But that's not what happened.
No, and they just had him continue to lose to him.
Yeah.
Someone else in the chat had mentioned before, it's crazy how last year's WrestleMania, he came out with this grand entrance on a freaking tank, and then this year, look where he's at.
Watching dudes come out of a big box of cereal.
Yeah. For the most part, yeah.
It's just amazing.
Well, I mean, you could kind of blame his lack of push on him and Lana announcing their thing that happened through TMZ.
Yeah.
Well, that's fucking poor Rusev paying for Lana's fuck up.
But if you think about it for 1 second, right? WWE does all these things to show you that this is just scripted television, breaking ground. They'll shoot a documentary showing, guys who were rivals talking to each other in the locker room after the match or whatever, right?
Yeah,
so what did it matter that they revealed it on TMZ? Why did they even have to acknowledge it on WWE television?
I think they got mad because WWE didn't do it. Like, they can do it, but as a character, you can't do it.
What they got mad about is that the whole storyline was about them splitting up. And then she went and told TMZ we got engaged, which...
And I could understand if it was a hot angle, but nobody cared.
Yeah, but
it was really bad.
It was a shitty angle, it really was. But it was the angle that they were going with, and I can understand WWE for having heat for that. They were spending money going in another direction. They were about to make her a huge face. And she ruined all of that. I mean, so they had plans for her, and by her doing that, she killed everything right then and there. So, yeah, of course they're going to kind of hang
so
her.
he's been in the doghouse for a while.
And there's no signs of him coming out anytime soon.
No, not at all.
But he looks fucking fantastic, though, man. He actually looked like a fucking Thai kickboxer the other day, like just a big, athletic dude, not a fucking bodybuilder.
Yeah, he got a lot leaner.
Yeah.
I was like, I would buy into this guy just being a kickboxer, like fucking push the guy back and beat the fuck out of the guy. I could see that. And then suplex the shit out of him. Like, just like Greco-Roman MMA kind of moves. Like, don't turn him into an MMA fighter, just a fucking brawler who can suplex.
Basically.
Yeah.
All right. Reigns won this match, obviously. And Anderson and Gallows come out and attack him at the end of the match. Styles comes out, calls him off, and gets punched in the mouth by Roman Reigns. And then Reigns basically clears the ring of Anderson and Gallows when they come back in. And AJ hit him with the phenomenal forearm. I thought he really laid that one in to end the show.
I think we're going to have a good pay-per-view. I really do.
I agree.
Needs to happen.
Yeah. I think their match is going to be great. I think AJ is going to make Roman step it up a notch. Because so far, and I'm talking about overall, I'm not just talking about his title reign, we haven't really seen Reigns go up against anybody who makes him work in the ring. Like, work to, the way AJ Styles can make him work.
The only one that I remember he had a really good match with was Daniel Bryan.
Right.
And that's because Daniel pulled it out of him. I think AJ will do the same.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Man, I watched a video online not long ago where, the fat guy who does the collectibles in New York City?
Yes.
Right.
Where he went to Kurt Hawkins' wrestling school.
Yeah, what the heck's his name? Grimm.
Yeah, to challenge Kurt Hawkins to a match. And this is a fat, out-of-shape fuck. And Kurt Hawkins made him look like halfway decent in the ring. And let's put it into consideration, this is a guy who's a fat fuck who collects toys.
He's making New Jersey look bad because he lives in Jersey.
And, but Kurt Hawkins was able to bring a mildly not terrible shoot out of it. So I'm pretty sure AJ can do pretty well for Roman. I think it'll be a good match, but I expect a swerve.
That's the way it looks like it's heading.
I expect to be sitting here next week talking about a Roman Reigns heel turn.
And being super excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
Now everybody's going to cheer Roman Reigns. Probably not, because he's turning heel on AJ.
Yeah,
but
like,
you give it some time, and just like The Rock, they hated him. He turned heel, and then they turned him back organically. That's the way it should be.
Oh, bro, and it's gonna happen. He'll get there. He has to look for it, bro. I mean, like, you cannot look at him and not see pro wrestler. Which is that he's shoved down everybody's throat. He has no personality. It'll get there. I have no doubt he will get over. Dudes will start gravitating towards him. He just needs to be a badass and not be told he's a badass. Just be a fucking badass.
yeah, like when he went nuts on Triple H after the December pay-per-view.
Yep, you got to be a bad guy for a while. Be fucking ruthless. Let us see that you have it.
I agree with that. I wanted to ask you guys, did you see the tweet that Bray Wyatt put out a couple hours ago?
No.
No, sir.
This is what he wrote. He said, "I will walk immortal until my work on this planet is done. Change the world. Down with the machine. Hashtag the return."
Oh, CM Punk is coming back. Confirmed on American Sports Connection.
Yeah, write it down, people.
Confirmed.
Finally.
CM Punk is making his return. Return is imminent. Bray Wyatt said so.
Basically. So, but I read he's supposed to be out till, like, the end of May.
Really?
Yeah, they said 4 to 6 weeks.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, well, when I saw that video, I thought it was going to be a lot worse, but thankfully he was alright. And well, it sucks for him because he was working the main event with Reigns for the title on the entire European tour.
The curse of the Roman Empire. There you go.
Yeah.
But it'd be awesome if if Gallows and Anderson do turn with Reigns, that their first little 3-man feud, at least a match or two, would be against the babyface Wyatt family.
Hey, that'd be awesome.
The only problem is it would be awesome if it was Luke Harper there. And Luke Harper, Rowan, and Wyatt, the original 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I love watching Harper, and
because he was the worker of the group.
Yeah, but I don't mind Rowan because Rowan's fucking agile for a big dude, man. That fucking crane kick he does is beautiful. That spinning.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, it's so pretty, especially for a guy that big. So
I agree with that because they were. I'm assuming they're going to hold off their feud with the League of Nations until the next pay-per-view because they want to break them up.
Yeah, that should have never happened in the interim anyway.
No, they change it every day.
the League of Urinations, as I call them, that should have never been a thing.
Yeah, but they would. I mean, like maybe, but they came out like if they were done more like a World Elite type. Remember World Elite from TNA?
Yeah.
You know, they came out kind of like a comedy duo, like or a comedy quartet. Right, immediately there was no seriousness to it. I could have dug it if it was done well, but it wasn't. You know, it was done with no.
And my problem with it was when they put Del Rio in it, who was still hot from just beating Cena for the U.S. title.
Yeah,
they should have had Rusev and Barrett, and Sheamus, and they could have done something like Jack Swagger as the American, for the League of Nations, because he, whatever, or anybody else. But
this was the one time Kevin Owens was lucky that he was sick the week they put them together, because they originally wanted to put Kevin Owens with them.
Oh, thank God.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Thank God. I would have. Oh my God.
Yeah, but he had like the flu, or I forget exactly what it was, but he was like sick that one week and they sent him home.
Yeah, he was traveling with his son and they both got the flu. And
that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know he must have been hugging his son afterwards because he had said that his son got him sick.
Yeah, I would have given him a million hugs after that.
It's just a shitty fucking gimmick. But you know what? With Swagger, they have it. Every time they fucking have him against anybody, he's so over. We, the people. The fucking theme is perfect. It gets people amped up. You don't even need to try. They like the fact he's American. Like, we respect him already. He's a veteran. Just push him.
Yeah, the only time recently that I know that didn't get over was Roadblock. Chris Jericho goes out and says how he's ashamed to be Canadian and all this. And all of a sudden they bring out the American guy to fight him. I'm like, what? Okay.
Yeah, that's weird.
If you're saying you're ashamed to be Canadian and all that, shouldn't they have brought out, a Canadian? Or, Sami Zayn, who's French Canadian?
Yeah, somebody that would, be like local to the area.
Yeah, that's WWE not thinking about what they're booking.
Did you guys hear what Bret Hart said now about him being at Payback?
No.
What'd he say?
Basically, the only reason he's coming is to do it for Natty, because he wants nothing to do with them.
You know what? Yeah. I really missed the time that Vince and Bret hated each other. Because I never had to hear about Bret's fucking opinion on things.
Dude, his podcast is literally him complaining for an hour.
Bro, I loved Bret Hart. My favorite title change of all time happened at a house show, and that was Bret Hart taking the title off of fucking Ric Flair.
Yeah, in 92.
And It's like he's turned into this, like, curmudgeon-y, overly opinionated, overly sensitive, whiny shell of what he used to be. And it's like, how were you my fucking idol growing up? It just makes me sad on, like, a childhood level.
And Nash is always banging on him because I watch those youth shoots he does, and I think he used to call him like the $400,000 champion. He never wanted more money, he just wanted to win.
Yeah.
But I was just like, Jesus, Bret, they're throwing you a bone. You can come to the pay-per-view, probably get a little payday, and you got to freaking kick them in the teeth.
Right in the teeth.
Like, I tried to listen to his podcast. He even had his kids on there one day, and he was complaining about everything.
I can't.
I know, and then they're like, Dad, you can, like, not take it seriously, calm down, and he's like, no, and he just keeps going and going. I said, oh, my God.
I don't think I could do that for very long.
So what do you guys see happening, though, with the women's championship match?
I think Charlotte's going to keep it.
I do too.
I don't think they're going to give Natty her due.
I thought the same thing up until I heard they're going to have a rematch at Extreme Rules, which is 3 weeks after this pay-per-view this Sunday.
Yeah.
So I could be wrong, but I'm going to go with the notion that there's a reason why they just randomly picked Natalya out of all people to challenge Charlotte at this time. And every single time that they fought in a high-profile match, Charlotte's won. So I could be wrong, like I said, but I'm going with the fact that they might just give Natty a little 3-week run with the belt.
It's possible. I wonder what they're going to end up doing with Bayley. I don't know if they're going to call her up immediately, but, like, what do you do with... I mean, like, do you throw her right in the title picture? I wouldn't. But how do you preserve what she is? Like, so it's...
That's why they need to start building up other women heels quickly.
Yes.
I know they've been teasing that Becky Lynch and Emma were going to have a feud.
Yeah, and they kind of just left it right there.
Yeah, that's their problem. They don't keep nobody with the women, especially any particular orientation. Like somehow the Bellas went from heels to faces and never did anything different. Just happened one day, and it's like, but how? It's like they were fucking heels the other day doing heel things. Now you pair them up with Paige, and now all of a sudden they're fucking baby faces, and you're cheering for them the next week.
Like you told me the story, Ryan, when you went to the Raw in New York, you were sitting next to a girl that had debris mode stuff on.
Yeah.
And then I finally told you what Brie mode meant.
And I'm like, I don't think the parents know this. Do you know what Brie mode is, Rich?
No.
Mike, please explain to Rich what Brie mode actually stands for.
Brie mode is basically and Steven told me this, that it's basically getting drunk off your ass in the club.
Oh, Jesus.
Like, apparently it's something from Total Divas, and it basically means, like, just going out and partying and, like, just getting wasted.
Oh, man.
So when I see, like, a 12-year-old girl sitting next to me at Raw wearing all Brie mode hat, Brie mode shirt, Brie mode sign, fucking everything Bella's, and I'm like, yo, your parents have no idea what this means. I mean, granted, nobody else really does either unless you watch the show, or, but still, it's like, that's what this means. And WWE is selling shows of it. Does anybody who worked for WWE watch the fucking show?
Wow.
I was just amazed when I found out that. I'm like, wow, and they're really marketing this to little girls.
Yeah, because I think I said to him one day, I was like, Brie mode! I was like, what the fuck is Brie mode, bro? And then he was like, actually.
Wow.
And then I felt bad because the kid on my left was a Roman Reigns fan. And he was like, I don't know, maybe like a 10-year-old boy. When everybody booed Roman Reigns, he finally started crying. His dad just started laughing. As he stood up with his sign, and everyone's like, boo. He's like, Daddy, why is everybody booing?
Oh, man.
And the father just laughed, and the kid started crying. I mean, I try not to boo too loud. I didn't say, like, you suck or nothing. I was just like, boo.
You guys are monsters.
I'm going to hell.
Dude, my best friend who's been on this show before, he went to the Raw in Philly. He told me he saw a dude in the men's room, like our age, wearing a Roman Reigns shirt, and he tapped him on the shoulder, and he's like, I think you're in the wrong restroom.
True story. I met CM Punk in the restroom at Hammerstein Ballroom at a Ring of Honor show in, like, 2006.
Uh-huh.
Just met him in the toilet. Like, I was like, hey, you're CM Punk. He's like, hey, yes, I am.
Yeah, I went to a WrestlePro show in March, and I went to use the restroom, and guess who's in there? Randy Orton's father, Bob Orton Jr.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
And
you went to the WrestlePro show?
I went to the not this one that just happened this past Saturday. I went to the one March the 5th in Jersey.
Yeah.
And Godfather just came up to me and shook my hand for no reason.
Bro.
He's like, hey, how you doing? I was like, oh, awesome. I thought I had to pay for this. Okay.
Bro, how surreal is that experience, though?
WrestlePro is probably, in my opinion, one of the best indie feds going right now.
Absolutely.
When I was there with Eric, you guys know, we saw wrestling action that started at 8 and ended all the way at midnight, and there was only like a 20-minute intermission.
Oh, wow.
So you got a shitload of wrestling.
Yeah, and when you walk around, the talent is fucking right there. I mean, like, that's how I got to talk to Kevin Steen for like 15 minutes. Just talking about indie wrestling, and it wasn't like behind a fucking table or nothing. He was just there. And I had joked with him about 20 minutes earlier, when I got his autograph, and he came over to me and continued talking to me.
Yeah. When you go to when I went to WrestlePro, Cole Cabana looked over at me and he was just like, hey, how you doing? From his table. I met Joey Ryan. Rock and Roll Express was there. When I saw Orton in the bathroom, I was like, wow. I just looked at him and I said, nice. I was like, hi, big fan. And he was like, oh, thank you very much. I was like, weird time to ask you for an autograph because he just finished taking a leak. So
yeah, I'm back there because I know Kevin Matthews since we're in, like, I don't know, 3rd grade. So I'm back talking to him one day, and Zach Gowen is there with that Gregory Irons. They were a tag team together called the Handicap Heroes. Mm-hmm. And just talking, like, about, like, normal stuff. They would talk, I don't remember what they were talking about, but then, like, for the next half hour, we're just all standing around bullshitting about, like, really nothing, like, not even wrestling related, video games, music. just about whatever they were talking about, and it just continued. And it was so cool. Zach Owens included me in a fucking conversation. Like Brock Lesnar threw you down a flight of stairs, and he knew what we were talking to me.
Yeah. When I went to that WrestlePro show, Bull James, former Bull Dempsey, he was right there. He stood right next to me. He was talking to me for a second and stuff, and it was awesome. When you go to an indie show that they have, like, you know, when they say it's all these people will be here and stuff like that, they just walk around like, you know, like you or me would.
Yeah, and that's what blew my mind when I went to their fucking, like their big show right before Mania weekend, and it was like everybody I could have ever wanted to meet was there. Got to meet Liger. I got pictures with Jushin Liger. I mean, like, that was mind-blowing.
Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Very.
Billy Graham, who never does shows in convention. Well, no, he does. Now he does. Yeah, I just got to meet so many random people. Nobody wanted to go talk to fucking Davey Richards. I swear to Christ, he was sitting at the table by himself.
Oh my God.
Just on the fucking phone, oh man. And like, he looked over and he's like, you want an autograph? And I was like, no. I was online for something else. I felt so bad.
It sounds like Virgil.
Exactly.
Because I'm pretty sure it's in June. They have there's some kind of wrestling signing they have. It's up in North Jersey. It's usually in June every year.
Oh, Legends of Wrestling.
Yes, I couldn't think of the name. Thank you.
Sting, Bret Hart. I think Ric Flair will be there. Yeah.
Ric Flair's coming to the next WrestlePro.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yep.
I thought that was cool because Rick really doesn't normally do appearances outside of WWE anymore.
I'm sure they paid a pretty penny for that. But they just got coverage on Fox Sports 1 with Mr. Building stuff.
I saw that. Where he puts him through a freaking table. That was hilarious.
That's exactly what they wanted. AC Slater and Mario Lopez saw the picture and commented on it. This is what they wanted to get exposure.
It's smart.
They're real smart when it comes to this stuff. That's why they bring in these fucking names. No wrestling fan really gives a shit about Mr. Building.
No, it's going to pull the casual person in.
That's fucking brilliant. Like, it got them on Fox Sports. Like, they're putting out videos on Facebook.
I was going to ask you guys, who do you think is going to win the number one contender match for the tag titles?
I'd have to go with Vaudevillains because I think I wrote that in the chat last week. A babyface Enzo and Cass and babyface New Day doesn't work for me right now.
Yeah, plus, I think the Vaudevillains are going to win too.
And plus, you could put so much build behind it to get a big match out of it, like at SummerSlam.
That's what I think they're going to do. Like, I have a feeling like maybe, say, the Dudleys are going to cost Enzo and Cass the chance to fight the New Day, and then they maybe feud until New Day and them fight for the belts at SummerSlam. Because
the next pay-per-view is Extreme Rules. So, tables match. Enzo and Cass versus the Dudleys.
Yeah, it writes itself. And then it would make sense to have Enzo and Cass fight New Day at SummerSlam because it's in Brooklyn.
Bro, you have no idea how over that's going to be.
If Enzo and Cass win the tag team titles from New Day, or let's just say it's somebody, whoever it is, but the fact that Enzo and Cass are fighting for the tag team belts and they win, I just really hope that they put it like third match on the card. Because if it's like right before the main event that will feature Roman Reigns,
yeah, the crowd will have nothing left. That my fear would be is for SummerSlam they're going to have Cena against Reigns.
Oh God, no!
That's what I say.
Give me Seth versus Roman.
Yeah, because he should be back by then.
Yes.
Because he's way ahead of schedule, I think.
And even if he was right on schedule, his return would have been at SummerSlam.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that wouldn't be so bad. And then, like you guys were saying, you could keep Cena down in the mid card, and it's not really hurting him.
He has nothing left to prove. 15-time world champion.
No. Like one of our other viewers said before, I'd gladly let him hold the U.S. title for a year to keep him away from the world title.
He's got nothing left to prove. He's the only guy that could take what would be a devastating loss to anybody else, and it would have hurt him.
That's true, because he's basically beaten everybody.
Yeah, and he was the first guy to unsuccessfully cash in the Money in the Bank, and it did nothing to hurt him, while it basically ended Damien Sandow's career.
It really did.
Wait, you talk about Cena?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was never the same after that.
Yeah.
And sadly, he's done that to a lot of guys.
Yeah, they gotta stop fucking Roman Reigns shaking like he's Hulk Hogan. Like, he just looks like he's fucking convulsing.
That's what I saw that, and I'm like, is he having a seizure?
Like, none of this fucking nonsense. Like, come on now.
Like, it was in between, like, hulking up and doing, like, the Warrior.
Yeah, it's like, yo, is he like a loose wire somewhere in the fucking ring? Because this nigga looks like he's just electrocuted. Get the fuck out of here. Like, what do you do?
Let me give you guys a really quick, funny booking idea I thought of a long time ago.
Okay.
Roman Reigns has a lot of heat. Give him a female valet who has a lot of heat. Eva Marie.
Ooh.
Do you know what that building will sound like?
Yeah, it would be bad.
And it would be perfect to get over any other babyface you wanted to get over, because they want to see anybody kick his ass.
Absolutely.
Miz would be cheered as a babyface fighting him. And then if they just placated to the fact that they just hate her and they hate him and they do stupid things, like they have her do the arm cock for him before he does the stupid Superman punch.
Yeah, well, and they could play off, we're both, beautiful people, look at us and all that kind of shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, that would be some nuclear heat.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Absolutely.
I couldn't even imagine, like, people would come unglued, because I still laugh to this day when they had Eva Marie come out the week before Mania, and she just stood there for a moment when you went to Raw, and as to, like, soak in the cheer, and she just got booed out of the building.
Bro, that was nuclear. Bro, that building fucking shook.
That's the first thing he told me when he came back, Rich. He was like, dude, they hated her so much.
I don't know how loud that came across, but, bro, I couldn't see her. I felt like I saw all of the lights and stuff, and I just heard the boos. It took a second for me to realize who it was.
Jesus. When I saw that on TV, I was like, no, you can't be fucking serious.
And it was so funny because, like, when she stood with the baby faces, they were almost like, yeah, we don't fucking want you either. Because, they had, like, all this puzzled look, like she was trying to, like, stand with him or give him a hug or whatever. Like, don't touch me.
They're like, no, like, we're not in character. Seriously, don't touch me.
Yeah.
I want my career, bitch. Stay away. I don't know. I'm not on the, shit on Eva Marie train. Look, if you joined a brand new company tomorrow and then a couple months later they're like, here, we want to make you, like, head of a department, or here, we want to put you in the main department. You don't know how the fuck to do your job, but they're promoting you anyway. That's not your fault. You're just saying, okay, I'm getting a bigger paycheck. I'm on, I'm getting more perks.
Come on. Who in their right mind is going to say no?
She's getting the fucking help. She was putting up them videos, like, with Spanky, trying to get better. I mean, I gotta give her that much. She runs the ropes now better than AJ Lee ever did. I don't care what anybody says. Watch AJ hit the ropes. She hits that shit on her side like she's afraid. Ava Marie at least hits the ropes like a dude does.
Well, and people are going to get mad when I say this, but the last year that AJ Lee wrestled, she was phoning it in.
Oh, fuck yeah. I'm not mad at you for saying that. I agree.
I never got on the AJ trail other than, like, I knew she was supposed to be great. I never saw anything that was great. She did a fucking, Queen Spider stretch, you know, other than that, like, there's nothing that really won me over with her.
No, she was over a little bit in the beginning with the being crazy thing and when she was the GM of Raw. But once they took that away from her and they cooled her jets, I never saw anything special about her being wrestling-wise, at least.
No. I mean,
no, I thought those matches with her and Paige could have been really good, and they were just kind of
Yeah, like some of the endings, you were like, wait, was this supposed to end there? Did she get hurt? Or okay, whatever.
That's another one. I don't know what the heck they're doing. Like with Paige, I think her, and I've said this, that now that she's on Total Divas, it's almost like the kiss of death for her.
Oh, absolutely. They're not treating her with any modicum of respect. They're putting her in matches that they can feature in Total Divas down the line.
Yeah.
Why do you think?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Why do you think Sasha came out and said you will never see me in Total Divas?
She's not dumb.
Yeah, because that would just be the death of you in the ring.
You're not taken seriously. I mean, like, look, not that Naomi was ever good, but she's been stuck in these stupid storylines. I mean, like, look, she got passed up so quickly.
Hey, you're going to upset somebody in the group there, Ennis.
I don't give a shit.
I know, I'm just messing with you. Because there's one specific person that is, like, in love with everything Naomi does.
Bro, it's, like, the worst shit ever. It's like WWE's racist because she's not champion. It's like, no, she's not champion because she fucking sucks. So I just did absolutely nothing but find GIFs of all her fucking botches and just keep posting it until he, like, blocked me. He tries to rationalize it as everything is everybody else's fault. Like, when she tried to, like, just pinning the wrong way, I'm like, bro, she's terrible. Like, it's okay to like her. Like, I think Dalton Castle is the best thing in wrestling. But I also own people are going to have an opinion about that. I'm like, own your opinion, but bro, like, seriously.
Dude, and remember she almost really hurt Paige in that triple threat match she had with Nikki Bella.
Yes.
I thought she almost broke Paige's neck.
Diving cross body, she misses by like 4 feet.
And if had that been Nikki Bella, she'd be looking for work right now.
You're right.
Yeah, I mean, she's just not very good. I mean, it's okay to be her fan. Like, I don't care who nobody's a fan of, but to sit there and, he'd come into the group and, like, she'd lose, and he'd just write in big capital letters. He'd put a note to her head, fuck this company, this is fucking stupid. Like,
yeah, he's like, Eva Marie now? What about Naomi?
Like, bro, you're a grown-ass man. Like, Tyrek yourself before you wreck yourself. His name is Tyrek. Like, bro, you gotta Tyrek yourself before you wreck yourself. Like, relax.
Yeah, it's like we're not 10 years old anymore. It's not that serious.
So we joke, like, he's the only one who's gonna buy Naomi's shirt. That motherfucker ordered like 60 of them.
Hey, you're gonna see just a big, UPS truck back up at his house.
And the driver's gonna be listening to the song. I'm a man, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
But I don't know. There's some interesting fellas, but I mean, for the most part, everybody's good. I'm just glad that all that other shit is over. Mike was one of those people who was in the group when all that other stuff happened back then, but, I'm glad I got to hear your side, as long as that shit was. I'm sitting there, I'm like, half hour more? Fuck!
Yeah, when I was recording the first one, I was like, oh shit, I'm already at 23 minutes, and then the phone stops, and I'm like, I'm not even through half the story, though.
and hey Ryan, remember that happened to you? You said when you were saying your thing, you're like, bro, my phone cut off at the exact time I finished.
Yeah, because I was running out of space, so it said like 7:05 was what I had left, and I'm talking. I look at the time, and I'm like, holy shit! I'm like, I got a minute left of space. I was like, I have a lot to sum up at the end. So it literally cut off just as my last syllable, and then it cut off. I was like, that was perfect. Like, that was fucking perfect.
But it was funny because you're like, when you messaged that, you're like, shit, another 30 minutes, and he messes right under it. He's like, oh, it's no big deal. It flies by, bro.
Yeah, when I first started recording, I said, listen, I'm apologizing right now because it's probably going to be a very long video. And then it ended up being videos. But, it was good to clear the air because the other people who were in the group just figured that we just woke up one day and was like, you know what? We don't want to be part of this other group anymore. Let's just go to this one. And that's not what happened.
No, and oh my god, the one thing that I had forgotten was that I had supposedly made fake accounts for everybody. I forget who's the one who told me that, and I was just like, I did what?
Yeah, he said you made a fake account for a number of the admins, and
I remember that.
Yeah, he didn't include me though. And then after he had gotten rid of everybody that was a friend of yours, including Mike, then he put up that post saying that you made. And I'm not making this number up. He said 893. I don't know where he got that number from.
But it's just so fun. I forget who had told me that, and I was like, I made what?
And like you said, Rich, who in God's name is going to keep that many on their computer in the first place?
Yeah, where do you store the other 892?
Because he's like, I can't believe you made up a profile of my wife. And I'm like, oh, he's the one who messaged me on a dummy account. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like...
But you guys want to hear a funny story? This is why liars never prosper. Remember when he said the thing what you just said, Ryan, about making a fake account of his wife?
Mm-hmm.
He screenshots it and sends it to us in the admin chat.
Yeah.
And guess what it says? Mutual friends, Ryan S. Huckabee. I'm like, what the fuck? How's it fake then? How did Ryan Ennis make it and you somehow became the fake profile's friend?
Yeah. Yeah, there's just a lot of bullshit. And the thing is, I was going back and looking through the conversation today, while you were talking about, how long ago, he put over me becoming an admin so much.
Mm-hmm.
And, I forgot where I was going with that. But, yeah, never mind. Because, I realize we're still recording, and I don't want Mike to feel like I feel bad. I don't know if Mike wants to record all this. I don't give a flying fuck.
It's up to you. It don't matter to me.
Oh, I know. Oh. Yeah, when he told me that I made all the profiles, it was because I had told his wife everything that was going on. But that was only after, it was 3 weeks after everything was over. Things were fine. And I get a message from him out of the complete blue. Because I told Mike, I was like, Mike, he just messaged me out of nowhere and said the most vile thing about my fiance. I'm like, but it was out of the blue. Bro, I was over it. Yes, I was mad initially. I said I was going to ruin the group. Bro, I didn't do anything. He kicked my only alternate that I had out, and that was that. It was okay, I had a couple people that would report a couple of things. Other than that, bro, it was done in 3 days. But he didn't know that, so I kept telling him, I'm like, don't worry, I have 30 people in there reporting things. So he was spazzing out when he was putting all those. I had nobody in there, bro. You kicked all my friends out who were doing it. He didn't know that. But yeah, he just tells me I made all these fucking accounts out of absolutely nowhere. And I was like, who the fuck, are all these people believing it? But
I was going to say, you have that much free time on your hands.
I got my one account, and Eric has known about it since day one. I've never been shy that was me. Only strangers don't know that it's me. And I do it just to antagonize people. But it's not to report people, and that's my Antonia Hoffman. That started off as a fucking Mafia Wars and Farmville account, because I had 3 of them, but I don't remember any of the fucking passwords. It's 6 years ago. But yeah, when I always had, so. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm just glad that it's all over. And yeah, it was just, I couldn't believe when somebody said that. I'm like, but how do I even defend myself again? How do I prove that I didn't do that? There's no way for me to prove that. And that's what he would do. He'd get a non-provable thing.
That's what I was going to say. That's probably why he said it.
There's no way for me to defend myself. It's your word against mine. And whatever initially was said to gain that trust, it hasn't been completely shattered yet. So why would anybody trust me until, thankfully, he showed his true colors? But it's like, look, I'm abrasive. I get that. And sometimes I say things and then I later regret and I feel terrible about it. I know this. I have a fucking bad mouth at times. But I'm a fair person. And I'm honest. And that's what bothered me about him. And it just took a while for it to come. I seen it instantly with him. Oh, this is what I was going to say. In the conversation, he says, my dad owns the company. I'm just running it for him.
But he also said his parents were dead.
Oh, well, yeah. Those are his exact words to me. Because trying to be friendly, I said, oh, shit. So what kind of business do you do? Because I was legitimately curious. We were friends at the time. That's like if I didn't know you worked in the morgue and we were just talking one day. I'm like, oh, so what do you do for a living? That's,
Yeah, when I say the morgue, half the time people look at me and then they start, like, moving back like I got a disease or something. Hilarious.
Right there.
That's funny. It's like, I'm not coming after you, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, I'd be creeped out to do the job just because I don't know how I'd be around dead bodies in general, but it wouldn't influence my, I wouldn't back away from you. You're not the one killing them.
Yeah, I mean, to tell you real quick about a morgue job, I thought the same thing initially. I'm like, how the fuck would I ever be around a dead body? And then when I started training for it, I was like, oh, okay. They're just sleeping.
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, I think initially, and I think that's a universal feeling. I think.
Oh, yeah, because I even said the same thing.
I know one thing I can't deal with is blood. I'm not a blood person. I'm not a gore person. I just can't deal with that stuff. It just... I'm not wired that way. It gets me all sick and shit.
So what you're saying basically is if I wanted to bring you on as an assistant, I got your services all the way up until the autopsy. Okay.
I think I'd be willing because there's a fear within there too, and I don't know what the fear is. Like, I don't know how to explain it. But I may be interested enough to try to see one.
Yeah.
From purely, like...
From a curiosity standpoint.
Yeah, and a knowledge thing, because I like knowledge, but I don't expect myself to be able to make it through one.
Trust me, it's not as bad as you really think it is. If you're ever interested, for real, that we'll talk about it, and you could come down and you'll see it, and then you'll be like, oh, okay. That's just my feeling on it.
Yeah, you'd be like, I was upset about this?
I don't know, bro. I mean, I'm getting all, like, hot and sweaty and, like,
uncomfortable thinking about it.
Bro, I'm standing up, pacing around my room at this point, yeah. Thinking about it, because I'm a visual person. So I'm just like, I was going
to say, just go take another hit. That'll make you feel better.
Bro, all I know is that I could die all day long, and I went to school for accounting, so I have no idea how I ended up in the life path that I did, but...
That happens.
At any moment on my job, I can die in an array of format.
Absolutely. But alright, everybody, we're going to get out of here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and we will see you next